Brownsons. I am Sagan, and welcome to Full-Time RV Family, episode number 1. So bear with me here. This episode's going to be a little long. I'm going to give you a rundown. There's lots of interesting things that have happened to us and things we've been through already. We are from Washington State, in a little town called Hamilton, north of Seattle, population 300. We were going to buy a log home. Now we were down to the last minutes of either buy or flight kind of minutes. And we just decided that wasn't for us at that time. Other reasons on why not to buy, but we were in a flood zone. We talked about moving to the Oregon coast, so we started looking at places around there, checking the markets, and seeing what we could come up with. The area we decided on, we found out was still in a flood zone, so we started talking about what if we get down there and we're still in the same kind of predicament we were in up in Washington, where we were in a flood zone, there was something else, or we just didn't like the area and we were stuck living there for about a year while we rented and looked for another place. And we thought, well, instead of renting a place for a while, how about we buy 2 RVs? We go down, we can rent a spot, park them side by side, and we can see if we like the area. And if we don't, we pack up, we move until we do find somewhere we like. We figured Oregon because I didn't like the cold weather, and why not go south some? Well, my mom said, you know, it's not much weather difference, so we figured, well, you make a point. Why not Northern California? We started looking at RVs, and we thought, well, why not keep going? Because there's so much to see and do out there. We decided to buy 2 RVs. We put everything we owned in a box truck we owned and put it at my mom's house for a year. And we would travel and boondock along the way, and we'd see how things go. We bought a 96 38-foot Pace Aero Vision, the one you see behind me. And we bought an 89 Windjammer, 28-foot. Now the thought was at first, I would drive the Pace Aero, my wife would drive the Windjammer. I would pull a car trailer with a car behind my RV, and April would pull a trailer behind hers, which was only 28 foot, with the 4-wheeler and the kids' bikes. By this time, we'd already been watching lots of YouTubers, like Nomadic Fanatic, The Odd Couple, Enjoy the Journey.life, and we thought, well, maybe boondocking just isn't quite what we need to do, because we had the kids, and packing up and moving with them all the time, and road schooling, it was just going to be a little difficult. By this time, we put everything we owned into a box truck, and we brought it to my mom's, we stored it there. Now, in this time, it was February, and we were all living in the 2 RVs full-time already, just there at my mom's house, getting ready for the time to come when we were ready to leave, and everything was set, and we were good to go. We decided to go ahead, like I said, and sell the Windjammer, and we did, and the kids moved in with us into the 38-foot. That was so we didn't have the cost of repairing 2 RVs, maintaining 2 RVs, gas for 2 RVs, and all that along the way. But we still planned on pulling a trailer, and I wasn't ready to let go of the 4-wheeler I had yet. So we went ahead and found a old camper trailer. It was 37 foot, but the frame had been broken in the back. It was all the way down to the frame, had some extra wood on it to make a flatbed out of it. But it was just a rough camper trailer to begin with. Only paid $100 for it. So I cut the back off of it and shortened it up. I cut the axles, moved them forward, welded it into place, and put boards down, put fenders on it. Actually turned out really to be a nice trailer. Got it inspected by State Patrol, everything passed, and we were good to go. Now I can put my 4-wheeler on the front sideways and still park our little tiny 2-door hatchback Hyundai Accent behind the 4-wheeler, and we would just pull the trailer with all that with us. We did get set back a little bit then. There was a big snowstorm that happened. We got, I don't know, a foot of snow, and it was freezing. So that put us back a few weeks, and everything seemed to work out that we got the trailer done, and we went ahead and decided to do an elite membership at 1,000 Trails, so we didn't have to stay 14 days in, 7 days out. We could stay 21 days and go park to park to park to park. So when in Washington, we booked our first 21 days, and we stayed at the Bow Hill in Mount Vernon, 1,000 Trails, for 21 days. I absolutely love the park. It's my favorite one still to this day. Other ones in Washington are great. We've been to, I think, almost all of them, if not all of them, in Washington. Ocean Shores. We haven't been to Ocean Shores. But in all of them, I absolutely love Bow Hill. Beautiful, private areas to park. And we came to check out. It was May 1st, 2019, and we were off, heading towards Oregon to stay for a while along the coast, and then to California. That was our plan. That's where we were heading to start this. We ended up staying quite a while down in Oregon at the Newport area. Absolutely gorgeous. We loved the beaches. The Thousand Trails there at Newport was amazing. The staff was awesome. The park had great amenities. We just loved the Oregon coast. So after all the good times in Oregon and the few thousand trails we went to, we decided time to head towards California. And we wanted to take the kids to see Vegas. Me and April go to Vegas usually once a year when we were in our sticks and bricks. And we always love Vegas, and we always wanted to show the kids. Not much of a gambler or anything, but there's always something to see in Vegas. Anyone who's been to Vegas knows that. So off we went. We stayed there in Vegas for about 5 days at the Thousand Trails. Took the kids to see Fremont Street and all the things to see in Vegas and do to the aquarium, everything like that. Then we decided, okay, well, back to California. We would stay there for the summer, and we would figure out where we wanted to head from there. So we headed back to California. We stayed in Acton for 3 weeks, and Acton was a great park. Didn't have any complaints. Awesome pool. Kids loved it. Lots of things, lots of activities to do there. We just got tired of the desert and the heat and all that kind of stuff. And we decided, hey, you know what? We were going to leave everything in storage for a year, but this is it. This is the life for us. We are never going back to sticks and bricks. So why keep everything we own? And we realized, hey, you know what? I'm really not using this four-wheeler. Pulling this car is a pain. Having to store this trailer everywhere we go is a pain. And the car just isn't big enough for us. We'd rather flat tow. So in California, we sold the four-wheeler, we sold the trailer, we sold the car, and we turned around and we bought ourselves a 2008 Chrysler Pacifica, not knowing you couldn't flat tow it. Do your homework before you buy something that you like or you see that you like. If you're planning on doing this and you're thinking about flat towing, because you can't flat tow everything, there's actually only a few select ones you can. We thought it was going to be easier to do with really whatever than it really is. So here we are with a car that we couldn't flat tow. We thought, hey, you know what? Why not a car dolly? We'll just get a car dolly, pull the front end up on. It'll be great towing it around. They're not that hard to pull off of. They're not that hard to hook up to. And I could move it around by myself at a campsite if we needed to. But we'd have to get a really heavy-duty car dolly because the Chrysler Pacifica weighs in at 5,700 pounds. Something else we didn't think to look at or figure out before we purchased it. That's more than a Dodge Ram pickup truck. So up north, looking online, we found a car dolly in Northern California. This guy used it to pull a Ford F-250 pickup truck. Figured that is heavy duty enough to definitely pull this Chrysler Pacifica. Another thing we didn't think about with this Pacifica was its wheelbase and how wide it was. It actually sits wider than a Ford F-250 pickup truck. The tires barely pinched in and rubbed the side of the dolly on this guy's dolly that we were going to buy. We did buy it. We got about a half a block or so, and the car almost fell off 2 times. He did say, if this doesn't work, get a hold of me here, just see how it goes. And that's what we did. He was a nice guy, and he gave us our money back, and we dropped back off the dolly. So, no dolly, a car we couldn't tow, no trailer anymore. Back to Washington we went anyways. She just followed right behind me in the Pacifica, all the way back up. So we had to stop and stay at our great Newport one for a while. So we had to go and see Glass Beach and all that kind of good stuff. And we weren't going to stop seeing things along the way. We weren't heading straight back, but we were making a steady line back to Washington. We made it back just in time for July 4th. And we spent that time selling off everything else that we owned, including the box truck and the Pacifica. We ended up buying ourselves a 99 Jeep Grand Cherokee to flat tow. That we'd already done our research and we learned from our first mistake to really check around. So now that everything was sold and we didn't have an extra car and all that kind of good stuff, we had a set date of August 27th, time to leave Washington. Now I bought a tow bar and all that. We bolted it up underneath to the frame of the Jeep and did everything that they said you should do. And we went to leave on August 27th. And we pull out of the lower field at my mom's, because you drive around the back anyways. We pull out and we go down and we just get past our mailbox when all of a sudden the bolts rip from the frame of the Jeep. The safety chains clips broke off. The Jeep took off and went right and just missed the huge tree out in front of our house. Mailbox went right through the old decorative fence and parked itself up on top of a bush tree thing that's about the size of the Jeep. It was sitting completely like this, front end off the ground, on top of this tree. Parked the RV, figured we're going to be there a minute now. Pulled the Jeep off, it ripped the bumper off, ripped the grill out, ripped both headlights off, put a small dent on the hood. But really, that was about it. We spent the next hour and a half or so digging down a hole, pushing the tree back over, placing it back up, putting some support boards, bearing it down, watering it, putting back up the fence. It's like it never even happened. It looked like it didn't even happen. Oh, and by the way, my mom wasn't home for this. She had left and already said goodbye and didn't know until she got back that all this had happened. Now, I was able to put the bumper back on, the grill back on, the headlights back on. I made it all fit back together. You really wouldn't even know, besides the little dent about yay big right in the front of the hood, that anything happened to the Jeep. Now, I had to make a custom, really heavy duty framework underneath. So I got some thick steel and I put it underneath, and I put a big I-beam in front and got them hooked together. Well, not big, it's about yay big. And I got that all hooked together, and then we were ready to go. That gave us about an extra 3 days of sitting there. So we're already behind on our schedule of what we had planned on doing. I mean, we don't have a schedule, but we had a schedule. Now at this point, we were all pretty stressed out. We were already 3 days behind. The Jeep had broken loose. We were freaked out about that. And we were heading off to go to Montana and hit Yellowstone. And we were a few days set back in time. The plan was my mom and my dad were going to fly into Yellowstone and meet us there September 9th. And we were going to spend some time in Yellowstone together. And we still had to stop in Spokane so the boys could see their aunt, who they've grown up and love absolutely to death. And we headed to Spokane. We stayed there a few days and headed out to Yellowstone. Now at this time, everything with the Jeep is working great, and it still has been ever since then. It's pulling absolutely beautiful, happy with it. It does have some electronic issues with the windows and whatnot, but I'm slowly getting them figured out, and it's working out pretty good for us. Now we made it to Montana and all that, and we met my mom at Yellowstone. We took her over, and they rented an RV from Cruise America. This was the plan the whole time. They were going to spend 4 nights and 5 days really kind of with us, and they were a little freaked out because they weren't sure about what we were going to stay and what we were going to do, and it was a campground. We said, we're not going to stay in a campground, we'll just boondock. We've been boondocking along the way anyways, and between places. We were used to it by this point. We said, just follow us and we'll park next to each other, and you can stay with us, and we'll travel in your RV through the park for the day, and we can park ours outside and leave it there and lock it up and have the dogs hang out with the RV, and we'll go check out the park for 5-6 hours and come back and do things that way. Gotta say, they were a little freaked out about parking and boondocking until they got into it. Then we all stayed in the most beautiful places. We had a waterfall at one point right off the side of the road. We could see, went down to this beautiful meadow, absolutely gorgeous. Stayed outside of Yellowstone at another area called Devil's Slide. You could see the slide down the mountain. Historical spot, river flowing below, elk everywhere. They were just absolutely amazed at how easy it was and how beautiful, and with no problems or troubles. They absolutely were blown away and loved it. We had a great time with them at Yellowstone. They had a great time with us. So we all splitted ways, and we decided to head down, and we were going to go to Utah and see the Dinosaur Museum in Dinosaur, Colorado. We were going to check that area out, and then we were going to head from there and go straight down through Colorado and hit Oklahoma and go to Texas, and we were going to stay in Texas for a few weeks and head out from there. And that was a great idea until we decided, hey, you know what? New Mexico, we're close enough, we're right above it. Let's go down and see Roswell in New Mexico, show the kids the history there, and spend some time with the alien. And we did. So we went to Roswell, we checked everything out, did the museum there, and we also went down, and if you head to Roswell, New Mexico, you got to go see the spacewalk in Roswell. The man just opened it this year. The thing is absolutely amazing. It's completely beautiful. It's a must-see. We're definitely going to go check it back out here in about a year or so because he plans to expand and grow more. And it was just amazing when we seen it. So we left New Mexico and we headed through Texas. We did find an absolute amazingly beautiful boondocking spot. Free camping for anybody who wants to come. They have fire pits and everything else. Plenty of area to park for any kind of RVs down in there. You can get just about anything down in there. I hear as long as it's not been raining for a while, you don't want to go down there because the road would be muddy and really sink. But that was in, what was the place called? Mills Creek Reservation Camp. If you're anywhere near there in Texas, I highly recommend going and checking it out. The place was beautiful. We left there, and as of now, we are back in 1,000 Trails. It's been a while since we were at 1,000 Trails, and we're happy to be back and plugged in for a while and settled for a minute. We're staying 21 days here. Dallas area of Texas. Next, we're heading down to Houston for a couple weeks. We leave here on the 17th, and then we're going to stay in Houston for a while, and we're going to leave there, go over, and we're going to go to New Orleans and do a Halloween festival. So they're supposed to have a 3-day Halloween festival. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to share it with you guys. Keep watching. Can't wait to show you the things that we're going to see there and everything along the way, as long as what we see down by the Houston area. Then it's off to Florida, and we're going to go down to Florida for a while, and when around February or so, we're going to head down to Florida Keys, spend some time in the Keys, and just hang out around Florida really until spring. Our plan is to hang out in Florida and make some money, work some down there, and then after that we're going to take off from there about March-ish or so, maybe April, and head up the East Coast and go see everything we got to see around there. So there's going to be plenty to share with you guys, plenty for you to see. Just make sure you like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, hit that reminder thing so you don't miss a video, and do us a favor. Please share and encourage your friends to subscribe to the channel. Help us grow it. Help us build this RV family life together. And just remember, on this road of life, you might as well see it, you might as well RV it.